Yes.
Okay, right. Landscape of the soul. This is the next lesson which we are going to take. This particular lesson is written by Nathalie Tawaroi, Nathalie. This is the person. This is the author of our present lesson, Nathalie. Now, coming to the lesson, we have an introduction to painter Wu Davosi. Davosi is a painter. Uh, a wonderful old tale is told about a painter, Wu Davosi, who lived in the 8th century. This is a text. This is the first sentence of the text. This is Wu Davosi. So a wonderful tale, wonderful story is told about a painter. That painter's name is Wu Davosi, and he lived in the 8th century. I think these things are clear. So there is a story about a painter whose name is Wu Davosi, and he lived in the 8th century. And what is the tale? This is the tale. This is the story. Wu Davosi was an undisputed great artist of the Tang dynasty. The dynasty is AD 1618 to 907. That is the duration of that particular dynasty. So, who is the Wu Davosi? Davosi was an undisputed great artist. That means that there is nobody else who is greater than him in the field of art. So he was a very great painter and one of the greatest of all Chinese artists, not only during that particular dynasty period, even after that and before that, when you take all the Chinese artists in the line, we will find that he was one of the greatest artists. So, very famous painter. He was best known for his unrestrained style and superb skills. So this particular painter, this is just like a story. You understand this particular episode or this incident or this tale. So this Wu Davosi, he was best known for his unrestrained style. His style was something very particular, and his skill was very superb, very wonderful, superlative. He painted more than 300 stunning murals during his lifetime. So his total contribution to the field of art, it is mentioned that he just painted around 300 stunning, surprising murals. Murals are wall paintings. You can find some of the murals here in the picture. So he created more than 300 very surprising, very wonderful uh, mural paintings, paintings on the wall. In China, in the past 1,400 years. So he's a Chinese painter, and we find that he was having a superb skill, and he created more than 300 stunning paintings. So about him, there is a story. Now, what was that tale? What is that particular story? His last painting was a landscape. So we said that he created more than 300 paintings, and he was one of the greatest painter of the particular dynasty which is mentioned over here. And among all his painting, his last painting was the landscape. You know what is a landscape? Landscape is a scenery. You can see a picture is here. This is a landscape. When you speak about a landscape, there will be hill, there will be sun, there will be empty space between the sky and the landscape, or let's say earth. There will be tree, there will be lives, etc. That is landscape. So his last painting was the landscape. Now, what is special about that particular landscape? So this landscape was commissioned by the Tang Emperor Xuanzong. So this is the Tang Emperor. We said the Tang dynasty. During this particular dynasty, we found that the Wuxi was the one of the greatest painter. He created more than 300 pictures or paintings. His last painting was the landscape, and that last painting was actually ordered to be painted by the Tang Emperor Xuanzong. So who asked him to just to paint that painting of the landscape? Actually, it was asked by the emperor himself. So what was the purpose of the painting? Because the emperor wanted to decorate a palace wall. He wanted to decorate his palace wall with that landscape painting. So you see, this is palace wall. Palace Debiti. Okay, this picture is not of the original palace. This is just suggesting only. So he wanted to decorate. He just wanted that painting to be painted on the palace wall. The master had hidden his work behind the screens, so only the emperor would see it. So who is the owner of the landscape? It is the Tang Emperor himself, because he is the person who was ordered that a painting should be painted, and that also the painting of the landscape on the palace wall. So the master means master painter, Suwasi, what he did? He had hidden his work behind a screen, so only the emperor would see it. The painting was actually hidden behind a screen because the owner of the painting has got the right to visualize and see and appreciate that painting for the first time. It should not be seen by everybody. If everybody sees before the king will be the last to see, and king is the person who has ordered. He spends the money, so he has got the credit of watching the picture for the first time. So the master, the Wuxi, what he did, the painter, the great painter, what he did, he had hidden that painting behind a screen. I hope you understand up to this. For a long while, the emperor admired the wonderful scene. So when the painting was completed, emperor was called. For a long while, for a long time, the emperor just looked at this painting and he just admired, he praised, he appreciated the work. He was happy with the wonderful scene created by that master painter. Then what happens? What are the things the emperor admired? In the painting, the emperor admired the wonderful scene. There were many wonderful scenes were there. He just admired all the wonderful scenes. Discovering forest, there was forest in that landscape. He could discover the forest, means he enjoyed the forest that is sketched by this particular painter. High mountain, there was mountain also. He appreciated that mountain. There was waterfall in that particular painting. He also appreciated that waterfall. Please don't misunderstand that these pictures which I'm showing is actually created by the Wuxi. These are only suggestive waterfalls were there. Clouds floating in an immense sky. So in that landscape, the cloud was floating. It was flying here and there in the immense, vast sky. Men on the hilly path, the people are walking in the hilly path. നടപ്പാതകളിൽ കൂടി, ഹില്ലിന്റെ നടപ്പാതകളിൽ കൂടെ നടക്കുന്ന മനുഷ്യര്. Birds in flight. There were birds also were flying in the sky. Looks at the painter. So the king had appreciated all these things. He had seen every part of the painting, and the king was very happy. But then the painter just told to emperor, "Look, sir," painter said, In this cave at the foot of the mountain dwells a spirit. What does it mean? So inside that painting, the painter told that there was a hill. At the foot of that mountain, he says that there is a cave. There is a cave. So inside that cave, he told that there dwells a spirit. Spirit means Atmavan, soul. You cannot see it, but then you can feel the presence. What did the painter say? The painter told the king that, okay, you enjoyed the painting, you have seen the external beauty, but there is something just beyond what you see with your eyes. What is that? Because at the foot of the mountain, there is a cave, and there is inside that cave, there is a spirit is there. You cannot see the spirit, I told you. So, and it is inside. What is inside cannot be seen from outside unless you enter inside. Sire is a noun, is a male a parent of an animal, is also called sire, is a meaning, especially a stallion or a bull kept for breeding is also known as sire. Sire is one of the country's top thoroughbred stallion. That is an example. Another meaning of this particular word, sire, is a archaic, very old usage, a respectable form of address for someone of high social status, especially a king. So a verb, it can be also used as a male of a parent or an animal. So this is about the meaning of this particular word. Let's continue. So it told that there is a cave at the foot of the mountain. So this is just suggestive. Cave at the foot of the mountain. He told that there's a cave at the foot of the mountain that dwells a spirit. What do you mean by spirit? Spirit, there is no physical existence. You cannot see it. So this is just suggestive. Some presence can be felt. The painter clapped his hands and the entrance to the cave opened. The painter clapped his hands and the entrance to the cave opened. So what happened? The painter, he just clapped his hands. He told that at the foot of the mountain, there is a cave. Inside that cave, there is a spirit. So we have already seen. So after that, the painter, what did he do? He clapped his hands and the entrance of the cave opened. You must understand that it is only a painting. But then when the painter just clapped his hands, the foot of the mountain, the entrance of the cave opened. Even in that painting, that entrance was just opened. First, I told you that this is a story, a Chinese story about the OC. The inside is splendid beyond anything words can convey. Please let me show your majesty the way. So this painter told the king, you have already seen the outside beauty of my painting. You enjoyed everything. You have seen the hills. You have seen the mountains. You have seen the birds in flight. You have seen the forest. You have seen the waterfall. Okay. But he says that inside this cave, which I have opened, it is much more wonderful than what you see outside. It is beyond anything words can convey. He told that you cannot even express that beauty in words. Please let me show your majesty the way. He told that, okay, I will show the way. He's telling the Maharaja that I will show you how to enter this cave. I will show you how to enjoy the beauty inside. I'll show you the way inside the cave. So what did he do after that? The painter entered the cave. So in this way, the painter just entered the cave, even inside the cave, but the entrance closed behind him. So the moment the painter entered this cave, the cave door was closed. The cave just closed behind him. Maharaja could not enter. And before the astonished emperor could move or utter a word, the painting had vanished from the wall. So what happened? Before the emperor was astonished. He was very much surprised. He was shocked. Before he could move or utter, neither he was able to move nor he was able to utter a word. Then suddenly what happened? The painting had vanished from the wall. So the total painting disappeared. Not only that painter was not seen, not only the cave was not seen, the complete painting that is made by that painter also disappeared together with the painter. Not a trace of the Wosie's brush was left, and the artist was never seen again in this world. So what happens here? So we find that there was not even a trace. What did we trace? Sign on. There is not even a sign of the Wosie's brush was left on the wall. Not even a line was left on the wall. And after this particular incident, that paint was not seen at all. So this is one story. This is one tale. Now coming to the lesson, what the author is trying to tell us. Such stories played an important part in China's classical education. So this kind of lot of stories are there in China's classical education, and this this kind of stories will help the teacher to impart his education to the pupil, to explain the importance of Chinese painting to the students. Chinese classical education. Inside Chinese classical education, this kind of many stories are there. The books of Confucius. So the book of Confucius, very famous philosopher. In the book of Confucius and Zhuangzi are full of them. So books written by two of these very great philosophers. Both their books are filled with this kind of stories. They help the master to guide his disciple in the right direction. What is the purpose of this story? This story helps the master. The master means the teacher, to guide his disciple. Disciple means followers in the right direction. They could impart their knowledge very easily to the disciples, to the students. So with the help of storytelling method, we can just make people understand better. Beyond the answer date, beyond this particular story which is set here, incident, that disappearance of this particular painter, they are deeply revealing of the spirit in which art was considered. We don't simply concentrate on that what happened in that particular story, but what is actually expected for us to understand is that beyond what has happened over there, whether it's true or wrong, they are deeply revealing of the spirit in which art was considered. So what is the spirit of art in Chinese art? So we are able to understand very clearly what Chinese art means. Chinese art does not mean what you see with your eyes alone, but there is an internal meaning. That is the idea which the writer wants to convey. A painter paints a Chinese art, a person comes to see it. The beauty outside is wonderful, but that internal meaning is greater than what you see outside. Now, there is one more story is there. Contrast this story, just opposite of this particular story. Or another famous one about a painter who wouldn't draw the eye of a dragon he had painted. So there is another story that a painter had just painted a picture of a dragon, and he did not paint the eye of the dragon because of fear it would fly out of the painting, because after painting the picture of a dragon, the dragon appeared to be very live, very original. He was afraid to paint the eye of the dragon because he thought that if the eyes are also painted, then it looks so original that this dragon will fly away. That means so original. With an old story from my native Flanders that I find most representative of Western painting. So he says that this is an old story which is from native Flanders. Flanders is a city, Flanders, which is representative of the Western painting. So this is what is Western painting. Chinese painting means what you see outside, much more is their internal meaning. Western painting means you just visualize what you see outside, and there is nothing more to see inside. So there are two stories. One is Chinese story, another one is representing the ideas of the Western painting, which comes from Flanders, that is about this dragon which has been drawn. So, eye of a dragon, already we mentioned. Native Flanders. Flanders is the Dutch-speaking northern portion of Belgium, although there are several overlapping definitions, including ones related to culture and language. What is Flanders? Explained over here. So France, West Flanders, you can see the map. East Flanders, Antwerp. You remember this Antwerp because we are coming to this particular place, Netherlands. This map is Flemish Ardennes. So this map is shown for just identifying where the Flanders is. Now, what is the Western painting? In 5th century, Antwerp, in the previous map I had shown you, a place also called Antwerp. In the 5th century, Antwerp, who is Antwerp? Antwerp is a city in Belgium and the capital of Antwerp province in the Flemish region, with a population of around 520 to 504. It is the most populous city proper in France. So this is about what is this Antwerp and Belgium. Some instruction is given here. This is not from the text. So what happened in Antwerp? In Antwerp, a master blacksmith called Quentin Metsits fell in love with a painter's daughter. So you must understand what is this story. This is a third story. We have seen two stories. First one is Chinese painting. The story speaks about Chinese painting. Another one is speaking about the European view of art. Now there is a third story in which it is said that a story in Antwerp where we have a master blacksmith. What do you mean by master blacksmith? The senior blacksmith. His name is Quentin Metsits. His name is Quentin Metsits. He fell in love with the painter's daughter. So what happened? He had fallen in love with a painter's daughter. One thing you must understand is that earlier we find that a kind of work that people do is actually based on the caste from which one is coming. Even in India also it was like that. A person who is doing the work of a blacksmith, we call a kollan ennu Malayalathil parayum, and a painter. These two professions are totally different. It has got two different status in the society. A painter probably considered as a very creative type of man, and he received a lot of respect and recognition, but a blacksmith was not like that earlier. So that is why a blacksmith falling in love with a painter's daughter, something is unimaginable. The father would not accept a son-in-law in such a profession. Father-in-law, father of this, that means painter. A painter's daughter's father is a painter. That painter would not accept a son-in-law. Son-in-law means a marumagan, son-in-law, in such a profession coming from a blacksmith family. He was not ready to accept. So what happened? So Quentin sneaked into the painting studio. So what he did, Rahasyamai Rathriil, he just sneaked, he just entered the painting studio. He just entered the studio of the painter. Then what did he do? After entering the studio of the painter, he has done something. You see, there are many pictures were there in the studio, the painting studio. There were many pictures. And what he did, and painted a fly on his latest panel with such a delicate realism. So the panel on which he was making his painting, the latest panel, the last painting that he was doing at that time, what he did, he just drew the picture of a fly. And if you look at that fly, you will feel that it is original. ജീവനുള്ള ഒരു fly വന്നിരിക്കുന്ന മാതിരി നമുക്ക് തോന്നും. Who is painting it? This painter. And where is he painting? The latest panel of the painter. And it is said that he just painted that picture of the fly with such a delicate realism. You can see in the picture also. This is not the picture that is drawn by him, but you feel that it's an original one. അവിടെ ശരിക്കും ഒരു ഫ്ലൈ ഇരിക്കുന്ന മാതിരി നമുക്ക് തോന്നും. So in this way, he just painted. That the master tried to swat it away before he realized what had happened. So the next day, what happened? The master came to the studio, and when we opened his studio, his drawing room, he found that in his latest panel there was a fly sitting, and what he did, he just swatted adikya. We have got different ways to swat a fly. We may use a fly killing what they call the equipment, or we may take a paper, or we may take anything and just swat means beat adikya. So the master, when he came to his studio, when he found that a fly was sitting on his latest panel, he swatted it, swat it away before he realized what had happened. So he had already beaten, then only he realized that what had happened. He realized, what did he realize? He realized that it was not a live fly, it is a picture of a fly. So just then he understood that who had just drawn the picture of that particular fly, and then he immediately admitted as an apprentice into his studio. So immediately he admitted Quentin. Immediately he just gave admission to Quentin as his apprentice. Apprentice എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താ? A person who learns the trade or is disciple or അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ ശിഷ്യനായി ഇവനെ അഡ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്തു എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. He had given permission to Quentin to be a student of this great painter. Normally, a person from such a profession will not be accepted even as his disciple, but then just seen that he is a very good painter because he drew the fly with such a delicate realism that even the painter himself had just made a mistake of setting it. So he was given admission. He married his beloved and went on to become one of the most famous painters of his day. In this way, what happened? Quentin was allowed to marry his daughter. That means the lovers got married.